Hello everybody and welcome to another Photo Creative. Sorry about the huffing. I was just like in a mad panic to get here in time and have a bit of a wash because I was filthy. But it's really good to see everybody. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Give me a shout in the comments if you can, because I'm just a guy sitting in a room on my own talking to a computer and it's very, very weird indeed. I've got a yup, loud and clear. Thank you very much, guys. Good, that's all I needed to know. If you haven't been in before, you're wondering what on earth Photo Creative is and who this waffling idiot is as well. My name's Mike Browne. I have been a professional award-winning photographer since mid-1990s. I speak and teach in various places around the world, run workshops worldwide, and this is the live feedback session from a monthly challenge we publish to a Facebook group of some of the loveliest people you could wish to meet. All sorts of skill levels. But what I love about this group, there's no bitchiness, there's no nastiness, there's no backstabbing. Everybody's super supportive, and you guys, I'm super proud of you and to be part of it. If you want to find out more about Photo Creative and maybe come and join the group, join in with these challenges, there's a link in the description below this video. Yes, please, and everybody, if you would be kind enough to hit that thumbs up button, give the video a like, because it really helps get the word out there, helps everybody. Thank you for the reminder, Orion. Little piece of news, we have got the brilliant Steve Laws has volunteered to help and be an administrator. So, you know, yeah, donations help to cover the cost of running this group, and thank you very much for yours, Jeff Muse. I see it there in the chat. But yeah, Steve Laws has stepped up and he offered to help us administrate the page. And these days, most of it is gatekeeping. Facebook saying, you know, oh, well, we think this picture's spam, you know, and it's a group member posting some lovely photograph that you've taken. It doesn't sound difficult, but it just burns time and forget to do it. And you've got to go through and go, yes, that's okay. Yes, that's okay. And one or two other things like that, answering messages. So please, big welcome to Steve Laws. He's going to be finding his way around. Yes, Susan Firth, that has been happening a lot lately, and unfortunately I think it's getting worse. Maybe the AI algorithms will learn quickly, I hope so. Maybe not, I don't know. But yeah, give Steve a big thanks in the chat and, you know, talk to him in the group and all the rest of it. It's really good of him to take this on and to lend a hand. What else did I want to talk about? Yeah, thank you, Jeff, for your kind donation up there towards running the group. Now, I was actually going to say a few words about Jeff, because a couple of days ago in the post, I was absolutely delighted to receive, look at that, a present, a lovely photo book from Jeff Muse. Now, Jeff and his wife, they are in the US of A. And they came over and did a trip to the UK, and part of that they did a one-on-one day with me, you know, a private training day. And Jeff very kindly sent me a book which includes some of the images taken on that day. It's more a book of his trip, not just that day. I just want to share one or two of the images with you because I think they're really lovely. Thank you, Don. I think they're really lovely images, and I just want to talk to you about why I think they work, and then we will get into your pictures from the challenge. So, and you know, many of these are so simple, they're just great. That, Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know you're here. That, I think, is the gate into the little guest house where they were staying. Not far from me, out in the countryside in the New Forest. But it's just gorgeous, isn't it? Now, when you analyse that and you think, but it's just a slightly open gate and a bit of house and some trees. Okay, good. I got it right. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, you must have shown me this, I think, when we first met, actually, on that day. Exactly, Susan Firth. The thing that is making this work is the light. It's a balanced composition for sure. You know, a little bit of fence, a little bit of gate, a couple of vertical trees, bit of house. So we've sort of got gate, fence, house, But the thing which is bringing this to life is the light. Now, if you're a member of a camera club, there is a good chance you will have heard at camera club, you mustn't burn out the highlights. It's bad, wicked and wrong. But it's just nonsense. If you have a slightly misty day with the sun shining through the mist, can you see detail in the sky? Really, in the chat, please. Can you see detail in the sky on a day when the sun is shining brightly through a bit of mist, a bit of haze, a bit of overcast? Can you see any detail in that area of the sky? Just yes or no in the comments, somebody. Yeah, thank you, Susan, Michelle. You know, no, you can't. And yet, so many people go, oh no, you burnt out the highlights. And it's just, I'm sorry, it's just complete nonsense. It's people being self-important. Because some highlights do burn out. It's like appropriate burning out of highlights and inappropriate. If the highlights are burnt out just because the exposure wasn't the one that worked for that image, yeah, okay, not great. But if it's something like this, then no. The light's going towards the camera is creating this lovely moodiness, which Jeff just said that was his intention for the images. But also it's almost like there's a little bit of lens flare going on, and that is adding to the feeling of it. If you're struggling with light, it's one you've just got to learn. And I don't mean quantity of light. It's like, it's a very subtle thing. Light is weird stuff. We can see the light source, let's say the sun. We can see what the light's landing on, let's say the house, but you can't see the path between the light source and the house. You can't see what the light is doing. There is a whole huge section in my online masterclass in photography which really will explain how light works, particularly if you do the exercises that are in there. They're all demonstrated by video. All you got to do is copy what I was doing and try it for yourself, because photography is something you have to learn by doing. You don't learn it intellectually. Sure, there's some techniques and things you've got to have someone show you how to do it. There's a little bit of that, but we learn by doing. We have to do it. So, you know, go and check it out, my masterclass in photography. If you're struggling with light, go and have a look at it. And if you're struggling with light, you're going to be struggling with a lot of other things. And if you're struggling with things to do with light and composition and camera, you have no brain space to be creative. You don't have space to recognise that a slightly open gate and a gate post and a couple of trees chopped off at the top could make a really brilliant picture, because you're too busy thinking about the camera and the kit and all those rules that you've been taught. So let's just move on. Welcome, Lisa, thank you. Oh, somebody has just said, could I be a regular YouTuber again, making new videos on a weekly basis? I'm really sorry, no. Those videos are 30 plus hours work a week for £250 a month from YouTube. No, it was just killing me. I used to struggling to come up with ideas, trying to film them, going out on location, finding the light didn't work, then you've got to go back and then try it again tomorrow, which means you've got to cancel some work which you were going to do because you've got to get this blasted video made, and then what I'd say another 12-15 hours of edit to try and make a cohesive video. That's not what I became a photographer for. I got into photography to see interesting things that I wouldn't normally get to see, to record them in camera, to meet interesting and lovely people, not to sit in an office and stress over making videos. So I'm really sorry, no, I'm very unlikely to do that ever again. Anyway, somebody's talking about the time. Sorry, let's just move on. I don't know. It says GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. I believe that's what we are. I don't know the difference between BSTs and, sorry, don't know. 7 o'clock. Yeah, let's look at Jeff's pictures. Here's one which I love. And I remember the moment you did this, Jeff. We were in the local town near to where this is, and we just walked through a little archway, and we saw this guy on the other side of the road busking. Whether he's homeless or he was busking, don't know. Had a cup out, and Jeff just sort of said, I don't know, what do you think? I said, well, go and ask, go and see. But look how Jeff's put the picture together. I really, really like the way the corners have been used. Think about the corners in your image. Something which someone taught me, they call it border patrol. Look around the edge. Don't look at the subject. Look at the picture, the whole thing when you're composing. Move your body, twist and tilt and wiggle the camera around to put the things that are interesting in the right places in the frame. You're using that real estate. Imagine it's the wall in your house. You know, are you just going to grab a picture that you love and put it smack bang in the middle? Or are you going to think, actually, no, I quite like it next to the window. Or let's put three, one above the other, to the side, or something like that. Think about where you position things. That is the way you do it. I was just going to talk about that, Orion. Exactly. The arm on his hand on the dog. We've got two pairs of eyes looking at us. We've got the dog and we got the guy and his accordion and that lovely sort of, I don't know what it is, leopard skin, tiger skin style blanket. But it just links the whole thing together, and I really love his expression. We don't know what a stranger's reaction is likely to be when we approach them. So all we can do is approach them. It's an unknown. Now, human beings by nature, we're really scared of the unknown, which, if you really think about that, that's crazy, because we don't know what it is yet. Yeah? It's not known. They might go, yeah, of course you can. Sure, no problem. What are you doing? You have a chat, you make a new friend. Oh, I'm into that as well. Shall we go and do a shoot? Whatever, you don't know. Yes, somebody might say, no, go away. In which case, it's all you got to do is say, sorry to have troubled you, and go away. There is nothing more, you know. You're very unlikely to be harmed or attacked in any way. Again, look at this one. It's a really simple picture, but it works. Main reason why? Yeah, we got a great expression on the horse. Jeff waited for the moment to click. It's like getting the ears to come forward. When a horse has got its ears back, basically it means it's a little bit pissed off or it's bored or something like that. You need the ears forward. How do you get a horse to put its ears forward? Try and attract its attention. Call it, whistle, make noises, click, snap a twig. I don't know, whatever you like. But if you can get the horse to look at you, and you watch their ears sometimes, you sort of go, you hear people clicking at horses, that will often make them go whoop like that and bring their ears forward. Then they're paying attention. It looks more interesting. Click, that's the moment you do it. Now you've got to get your exposure and everything ready, of course. And as Orion again, I think, and Fleetfoot and Michelle have just said, it's the light. Where's the light coming from? Really, pop it in the chat, in the thing. Where is the light coming from? Just a quick brief one in the chat. Where is that light coming from? Yep. You see, we're preaching to the converted. You guys are great. Exactly, up top right, from the right, right and behind. Exactly, it's coming from behind and the right. How do we know? There's a highlight on the left side of the horse's face, the right side as we're looking at it. There is a little bit of a rim light in the hair around the ears, which is separating the horse from the background. The light is coming towards the camera. So what have we got going on here? It's layering up, isn't it? Choosing the right focal length. This would be a slightly longer one. How do I know? Because it has a narrower field of view. Yeah? It's like going like that. When you go like that, you exclude other stuff. That's what a long lens is for. That's what it does. It's not just for making forest things come closer. So we've got a narrower field of view. That excludes other clutter and stuff going on in the road or the street, because I think this was on one of the little country roads near where I live. And the background. So we've got the light coming over the trees behind the horse, and then by excluding sky and stuff, we can really concentrate on the horse, which has got great light on it and is paying attention. Completely the opposite. Instead of using a longer lens, what kind of a lens have we got going on here? So whereas the longer lens gives you a sense of being slightly voyeuristic, looking at something that's further away, and it gives you a narrower field of view. A short focal length gives you a much wider field of view, but it also has a very intimate feeling to it, like you really are there. The horse shot, we're kind of looking at the horse that's at a bit of a distance, and the horse is looking at us, and we're looking at each other over a distance. Here, these birds are like smacking your face, aren't they? It's because the shot was taken with a wide angle lens. How was this created? How do you do that? How do you get birds to do that? Well, first of all, you've got to go somewhere where the birds just press gang you, yeah? Where they're coming and having a go at you. Why are they having a go at you? Because of food. So this is outside a cafe, a place where I run my beginners workshops actually in the spring. You know, if you've got a few crumbs and things on the table, these scrounging little buggers, they come flapping in and they'll steal your sandwich if you give them half a chance. So we can use that, can't we? Put on the wide angle lens, which gives you a different look, a dramatic look, and the camera is just sitting on the table. You can do it with a phone as well. Phones are great for this. Scatter a few crumbs and things on the table, and then the birds come and land in front of the camera. And you just sort of go click, 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 or maybe run burst mode for a moment to capture perfect moments. Again, you've got to think about light and composition, all that stuff. What do you notice about the composition? The lines. Look at the lines. Jeff's used the lines on the table, the slatted tabletop, to run away. So they are leading lines. They're leading you into the shot. So by lining the camera up on those lines, we've already got a compositional device which is adding power to the picture. It's not simply, imagine those lines were sort of on the skew and not quite straight and a little bit wonky, the tabletop wasn't flat and square. It would just be uncomfortable to look at. These are the things that make great and interesting pictures. Not expensive lenses, not expensive cameras, not watching endless YouTube videos. It's about practice. It's about going out there. I, and others of course, can give you the knowledge, but you've got to go out there and make the time. Your first 10,000, 100,000 pictures will be your worst. So let's get them over with as quickly as possible because they're valuable. They're the ones where you gain the experience. Cracking image. Sorry about this because the light's a bit funny on Jeff's book as well, because I just was trying to open it and I didn't want to crease it, and it's on the floor out by the French windows and blah blah blah. But again, look, using, this is not from our one-on-one day, by the way, this is somewhere else where Jeff was travelling, but I picked it out because I love the fact that he's using the misty, moisty, foggy sort of a morning. And we often avoid things like that. You go, oh, the sun's not shining, I'm not going to go out today. There you go, Jeff. It was in the lowlands of Scotland. There you go, other end of the country to me. But by going out when other people don't, you may have to work a little harder, because if you're thinking, oh, I need sunshine and I need backlight, but I haven't actually got either, yeah, you might have to work a bit harder. But why not make a feature of the fact that it's a bit grey and a bit misty and a bit overcast? There is a wonderful photographer friend of mine. Get a pen, write this name down. Anthony Lamb, photographer. Anthony Lamb. Go and Google him. Go and look him up. Really, really super nice bloke. Now he shoots a lot of stunning landscapes, and they're the most peaceful, calm landscape pictures you ever did see. I think they're truly, truly beautiful. Now Anthony's thing is he only shoots when it's foggy, misty, overcast, cloudy. If the sun's shining or sunrise, sunset, no, not interested, not going, forget it. He's recently, actually he gave a talk for my private mentor group where we do this in depth a couple of times a month. He came along and had a chat to the guys, oh no, a week or two ago. And he told us all about a shoot that he's just done in Venice and the planning that goes into it, studying weather reports, and then seeing that the weather said in 2 or 3 days' time Venice is going to be shrouded in mist and fog. Now he now lives in Dubai. No, he doesn't. He lives in Abu Dhabi. He's moved. So it's like, okay, Venice is going to be foggy. Book a flight. Get there now. And then go and shoot the images. it's kind of different, but it's what makes things eye-catching. Sunsets are beautiful, so are sunrises, but how many billions of them do we see all the time? Do they really stand out? Or do we see a sunset or a sunrise shot and go, like, because it's a sunrise or a sunset? But it's an image we see a lot of. But to capture imagination, I would suggest we need to kind of look at things slightly differently, try and look at things in a different way. And no offence to anyone who loves shooting sunrises and sunsets. They're truly beautiful things, I get it, and there are some truly beautiful images of them. Some of you in the group do shoot a lot of them, and you do a great job. But how many people go out on foggy, misty, dull, overcast days specifically to shoot landscape? But he also chooses very specific locations and places which he has thought about to ensure that they will work with the weather conditions that he wants to shoot in. So yeah, that's kind of, I just want to run you through with Jeff's book, which is absolutely stunning. I'm going to leap out the chair, wait a moment, because I meant to put this. I meant to put this on the desk next to me and I didn't, I forgot. There it is, Jeff's beautiful book. Thank you so much, Jeff. Really appreciate you choosing me to be your mentor for the day and for sending me that lovely book. Final little piece I wanted to mention. Workshop season is upon us. We've got a few coming up and now is the time to do something about it if you want to come on one. If you're going to invest in yourself and learn stuff, this is all stuff we've just talked about with Jeff's pictures that we do on the workshops. Particularly I want to mention Morocco, because it's a stunning location and because it is confirmed now. We have got the minimum number of people to make it work. We've got just over that now actually, and on top of that I've just in the last 2 days had 3 further inquiries, 2 from America, possibilities, and someone in Australia talking about coming on it as well. So some of those places are disappearing fast. Morocco is extraordinary. Go check it out on the website, link in the description to all that good stuff. Now let's go and look at your good stuff. Bear with me while I get screens set up. So hang on, I've got WhatsApp open, get rid of that. Someone will call me. Okay. Let's take a look at your lovely work. Sorry, I'm still setting up screens so I can look at what I need to look at. Normally, to do this professionally, you have 2 people doing this. One of them's managing the screens, the vision mixer and the software, and the other one's doing the presenting. I'm doing all of it. So I'm a lonely person sitting in a room on my own talking to a computer. So let's start down the bottom here. Now I saw a couple of people said you missed live streams because of GMT, BST or whatever the hell they call it. I've no idea why they mess around with clocks. It's just confusing and annoying. Go and check out the website because that will give you the dates and the times. You can always double check it by just going, you know, GMT, and then it might say it's an hour earlier or later or whatever the hell they do with the clocks. The other thing is check the group, because there is always a link put into the group 2 or 3 days before the live stream, so you can go and it says in that post, set yourself a notification. So when you see that appear in the group, then just click the link, go and set a notification, and then you know precisely what time and what day it will be. Okay? I don't want you to miss these things because I think they're valuable, and I can see a couple of people here did miss the deadline, and I think probably because of that, and actually you're one of them, Jeff Muse, I think. There it is, yeah. And I get it, you're in the States, we're in the UK, so we're a bit further ahead than you, so the deadline comes sooner, blah blah blah. Anyway, let's just look at some pictures. There's one here also this is after the deadline, so this can't really be part of the challenge. Sorry, Jeff, but I do want to pick it out because I'm sorry. I just think, Jeff, your image is lovely, but I do need to pick out this one. Now, Ava Marie, our youngest member, she isn't even 10 years old, and she shoots some amazing pictures. Ava Marie, love your picture, and I just wanted to show it to everyone. Our theme is above and below. This so fits it, doesn't it? Yeah. We are looking up to something. Even look at the sun, the bright bit in the slinky tube. It is such a cool image. Thank you, Kenneth. Kenneth is Ava's dad. Ava Marie really wanted you to see her image. It didn't. Oh, you uploaded it on the first day, but it didn't upload. Oh, sorry, tech. I can't control Facebook. Nothing I can do about it, guys. But I did want you to see this. Big shout out, Ava Marie. I think that is a crackingly, stunningly creative interpretation of above and below. And look at the care she's put into it. We got someone holding, we got the slinky, which is leading us up through the picture, and we got the sun at the top. It's not just a slinky. Everything is all working together to make it work. Well done. Beautifully done. Okay, let's go on to some of the others. There are some really cool images here. There's also a few of you guys who need a little bit of help here, I think. Maggie Crawford. Okay, you couldn't find anything you liked and you were determined to enter something. Another little thing I want to point out, the challenge said above and below. So that's about looking up or looking down, but really we're looking for something above, something else. There's a lot of shots looking up, there's a lot of shots looking down, but there's not so many with something above and below. Yeah, you could shoot from a low angle, you could shoot from a high angle. Think of Ava Marie's picture. It's shot from a low angle, but we've got the slinky below and we've got the person and the sun above and below. Okay, sorry Maggie, you've just got an above, and I hate to say this, and you know this yourself, it's not a very inspiring above, is it? Even if you turn the light on, maybe shot it from immediately below it, you know, really carefully, use the frame, get it absolutely smack in the middle, it might have been a bit more interesting. But I just wanted to pick up on that one because, you know, we're all in different places on our photographic journey, and we need to think about stuff, you know. What is really simple for some people is really difficult for others. That's just called being alive and on the planet. Irfan, hey dude, you live somewhere near me, I believe, somewhere out in the forest. Irfan, above and below, yeah, actually it's more above than it is below. You're shooting from below, but the below element of the picture isn't really there. Maybe I didn't make it clear enough in what it said on the website, but if you look at the images that I posted as examples, you will notice there is an above element and a below element. Yeah, we got chicken of the wood, the fungus, which is delicious. It's a delicious thing. Irfan, just think about where you position stuff, because your subject is right smack square bang in the middle, and that works sometimes. But also think about light. If maybe you had sunlight sneaking through the trees, something like that. Maybe if you used a slightly longer lens and you were looking up towards the chicken of the woods, this fungus growth here on the tree, and you had sunshine sparkling through the leaves up there, a bit like Ava Marie's picture, then you would have an above and a below, and I think it would have been a more interesting picture as well, rather than there's some chicken of the woods and they're above me. I hope that helps, Irfan. It's all that thinking about what we're going to do and how we're going to go about it that makes the difference. And I'm going to scoot on, try and get a few more. This is a great idea. I love that. I was really hoping to see quite a lot of reflection shots. Carrie, above and below. Really kind of obvious, isn't it, when you think about it? the puddle is below, yet the reflection is of something above and below. It fits the brief, and it's the sort of thing that could work really, really well. Carrie, the only thing I would say is we've got such a lot of the tarmac and little bits of twig and stick and things floating in the water, it kind of spoils it, which is a shame. Puddle reflections are wonderful things. Susan Firth just mentioned them. Absolutely true. Let's do our, I've got Jeff's lovely book. I'm going to put it on the floor. So if I put it on the floor carefully, it can't land on the floor with a bump. Excuse me. I'm going to get a couple of things. Guys, let's do our crop thing. If you close one eye, let's just take off the bottom of the picture about where this sort of damp leaf is and do about the same distance above. So what do you think? If we just sort of crop that, so we've then got a diagonal reflection coming through a horizontal image, going bottom left corner to top right corner with a reflection of a tree in it. I think that would improve it immensely. So had you turned the camera the other way and got a bit closer, or zoomed in just a little bit, I think it would have worked a lot better. But the other thing is, I get it, you're looking for something real, and I do like a distraction, but I just think all these little bits in the water are a bit too much of a messy distraction. You just pick them out, just pick a few out and flick them out the way, some of the bigger bits, and I think it would work a little better. But it's a great idea, Carrie, well done. Let's ease on. I mean, there's some stunning pictures here, and I don't want you to think I'm ignoring you. I just can't talk about all of them. Yeah, I'm going to have to move up a bit so at least we get somewhere near the top. Dean Minute. Hello, Dean Minute. Dean Minute's coming on the Morocco workshop. I'm intrigued, Dean. I'm not quite sure. You take some cracking pictures, my friend. You've been around this group for a long, long time. And I see it. You found this on the footpath. And it is intriguing. It's like, what is that doing there? It's kind of crazy. I'm sort of missing the above and below element. I'm getting a picture of a, you know, I don't know what you call it, a water hydrant stopcock thing in the pavement with an 8 of clubs and a stick, I think it is. It is intriguing, I grant you, sir. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'm maybe missing something, but I'm sort of missing the theme thing. Yeah, okay, it's a shot from sort of above. I don't know. Yeah, misread the challenge brief. Okay, thank you for being honest, Dean. No worries. But it's an intriguing thing to come across, to just find. What else have we got? I mean, there's some lovely images here. I'm sorry, I've got to move a little further. Who's this? Julia Bevan. It's a lovely picture, Julia. And you have kind of got that above and below thing going on. I don't know what this plant is, but you've composed that really, really nicely. I love the gentle light. It's an overcast day. There is no strong light anywhere. There is no directional light going on apart from downwards. But I like the way you've isolated this sticky, twiggy little plant growing in amongst some rocks. You've got all your elements in the right place, and we are looking at a plant which is above the water. We have got an above and below going on, even though it's in the distance. Yeah, we've got the two elements, above and below. This is growing above the water, if that makes sense. I like the way you put it together, Julia, and just arrange the elements in the picture, like we were talking about earlier. You know, look all around the edges of the picture. Don't just look at the subject. Think, how are we going to position things? Let's whiz on just a little further and have a squeeze. I think this is an intrigue. Alan Baxter. Hello, Alan. It's an intriguing image, isn't it? It's really, really rather lovely and rather beautifully done. It did capture my attention a few times. We got a clear above and below. The way this spiral at the bottom is bringing you up to the skylight with the light which is coming through, and it's a beautiful light. It's a very, very soft light. Look, We've got this soft edged shadow here and hard edged shadows there. As we fall away from the light source, the light is getting softer, even though it's all directional. Look how it's falling away on this shape. I think it's, yeah, I think it's a really great shot. It's a lovely shape. It did capture my attention. No offence, Alan. There were one or two others that caught my attention a little more. Let's just keep going on a bit further because I want to make sure we get to the top and you get a chance to look at everyone's image. Who's this? Michelle Ridout. Ridout. I wish I could speak to you. I wish you could shout out Ridout or Ridout or whatever it may be. You have got a very strong above and below feel going on here, Michelle. 100%. That's a beautiful and impressive waterfall. If you're here, pop it in the chat. I'm just intrigued to know where it is. It's a beautiful, powerful and impressive waterfall. I like the way... Hi Michelle, we met on your workshop in Mudderford. I'm sure we did. I'm so sorry. I can't remember everybody's names, and it's easier with faces as well. Beautiful waterfall. Lots of water coming out of it. Rare thing to see at the moment, certainly where I live. I like the way you've used the fast shutter speed and have frozen it, because we see so many waterfalls with the cotton candy slow shutter speed look. And I love the way you've frozen the action. We've got a strong sense of above and below, haven't we? You are below, the water is falling from above you. It must, I don't know the location, I don't know the place, but I do know that very often these places are so hard to really get an exciting picture, and a lot of it boils down to, again, that finding a time when the light is just perfect. It looks to me like the light is quite overhead. I could be wrong, and maybe this waterfall doesn't capture light. Sometimes it would work better when it's overcast. It is, as Chaz just said, certainly dramatic. And I like the way you have run the picture from either top right to bottom left or bottom left to top right. So annoying that there are people on lookouts and things spoiling this beautiful scene. There is nothing you can do about that. That is not your fault. Mid-afternoon, yeah. I don't know which way it faces, whether it would work well first thing in the morning or maybe on a cloudy day. I would have thought this would be the sort of location that would work really well in springtime, early in the morning, assuming we're in Europe, because then you're going to have nice bright mornings, but you're not going to have the tourists. They won't be there yet. If you go there at like 6:30 in the morning or something, you're probably going to have the place to yourself, apart from a couple of other photographers. These are things that kind of work. Good point, Susan Firth. Don't the people add scale? Yes, they add scale, but do they add to the impact, the excitement, the beauty of the image, the artistic merit of the image? I would suggest not. If there was one person standing on this rock down here, or leaning against this whatever it is here, or something like that, I think yes. Or maybe one person there. But when you've got like a gaggle of tourists and they're looking at their phone, and a couple of people, and do you know what I mean? And somebody in red walking along the back, I think they detract from it rather than enhance. One human being I think could work very, very well. But anyway, well done, Michelle. I like it. And those were my reasons for thinking I think it's nice. I like it. Let's just keep moving up. Here's a great idea. Who was this? Stephen. So, administrator. Steve, very good idea. You're on a bus, aren't you? You're on a double-decker bus. Those are the curly stairs. If you don't live in the UK, you'll think, what is he talking about? In London, certainly, we have double-decker buses, top deck, bottom deck, and a curly sort of walkway going up onto the top, and you found a little mirror or something, I don't know what it is, in the bus and caught that reflection. And I think it's a very clever idea, Steve. Above and below. Got it. Does it work as a powerful and strong image? I'm going to say, I'm sorry, my friend, but probably not. Why? Well, look, this guy here, he's got his back to us. He's at a very uncomfortable sort of an angle. Now, how was he facing the other way and looking up the stairs or wherever you are to capture that image? You can't be up the stairs, you must have been down. I don't know where you were to capture that. But was he facing, was he looking up there? Was there someone else there who's just jumped onto the bus, or a little kid standing there holding onto the pole looking out, something like that? Those are the things which would really, really help. Also, I do like negative space around things, but I think placing it completely in the middle, probably not such a good idea, but inclined to lose a little black and just put it slightly off centre somewhere, just only a bit, only a little bit. But mostly I just think it's this guy. We needed someone else, something else going on down there. And if you haven't got something else down there, you might wait for it to happen. Maybe you haven't got time for it to happen because you've got to get off the bus, or the bus is a special holiday trip and it's going to end its trip. But what's wrong with asking someone, you know? Hey, excuse me, look, I'm doing this, I'm entering a photo challenge. I found this really cool shot, but it just needs somebody standing. Would you mind standing at the bottom of the steps for a minute and just staring up at me or something? Yeah? They'd probably be delighted and flattered. They might say no. Doesn't really matter. Good thought, Steve. Oh, I'm going to do it quickly anyway. Yes, above and below. Got it. We got the bird soaring in the sky, Paul Martin. Magpie. Forgive me, there's something a little odd about this image. It's a great moment with the bird and the shape. It almost looks a little too contrasty. I don't know. I was just saying about skies burn out and burning out the sky, which is fine. But there's just something, I don't know, the magpie looks very yellow and the sky looks very white. There's a little mismatch going on here. There's lots of yellowy things. And it's a shame because it's just at the wrong moment too. If the bird and the bush, or whatever it is, was separated, then I think it would be a lot stronger. I get it, the bird was where the bird is and the bush was where the bush is. And you didn't have very, very long to react. There's probably not a lot you could do with that. It's a great moment and you've caught it well and you have thought about the theme. Let's, oh look, now that's who's this? Froggy. Hello, Froggy. I don't know if we know each other, which is really cool. You've really caught something with this one. I totally get what you've just said. The garage is your favourite place. Yeah. And you've got your tools mounted on the wall. The way you've shot this, or got someone to help you shoot this, or you've shot, I don't know who the people are or how you've put it together. But you know, you're playing with our sense of perspective because it feels like the tools and the spanners are the floor and you're somehow sticking out of the wall. You've created a kind of ambiguity, which we know, we want to think that, but we know that that's not what's happening. But I think it's a really clever thing. You've got those tools and the things that you like working on and you like having. You're just like me, I like building old motorbikes and stuff. And you're using those, but you're also giving us this above and below thing when actually it's one in front of the other. And I think that's very, very clever. Really great piece of thinking. And I hope, you know, look, this feedback is not just for the person whose image I'm talking about. It's, you know, for you guys to sort of take on board, to think about and go, yeah, right, okay, I hear what you're saying about that. Oh, I take it and run with it. Think of an idea, something which you've seen or thought of. Alex Kunert, I don't know. Again, a lovely piece of above and below, isn't it? The sun shining down and warming the pretty flower. I like the light rays and all that that's going on, the starburst look. We've got that little bit of haze going on again. The sun on the edge of the plant, on the edge of the tree at the top. That always helps. It's just a really pleasing, summery sort of an image, isn't it? But it very, very much fits that brief, above and below. Let's ease on a little further. Who have we got here? Hervé! Hello, Mr. Hervé. Now, Hervé is if you don't know him already, Hervé is very much a highly prolific street photographer. And he travels a lot. If you're in the group and you look at stuff, you'll see a lot of Hervé stuff. If you've done the 7 building blocks of photography, my online course of that, Hervé also posts quite a lot of stuff in the private group for that course. Yeah, you've certainly got the above and below, and actually I can completely see it's your style of photography as well. I don't think it's your strongest work, my friend. I get it, you like it, and that's the only justification anything ever needs. You're totally following the brief, above and below. But I guess because I know your photography, I'm going to say it's probably not your strongest. And actually, I'm going to be really blunt here. You might hate me. Next time you bump into me on a workshop, you can throw something at me. But I really didn't think it was yours to begin with. It was only after and thinking. But it's a good idea. Again, above and below. That's our key. This is fun. Who's this? Joey. I don't think we know each other, Joey. Believe it's some kind of bird. That's the sort of thing I'd say, isn't it? It's a reflection. Joey, it's a really good idea. We don't need to see the whole bird above to know that it's there. Just seeing the feet is enough. It's enough. I think that is such a clever idea, Joey, and it's well executed as well. My only criticism here is, again, to think on the composition. We've got a lot of space going on at the bottom of the image. Do we need it? I think it's wasted. I'm wondering whether you could have tilted the camera up just a fraction to have just a little bit more bird leg leading to the feet. Let's do our bit of a crop thing. I use my phone case. But I think just taking it off almost panoramic shaped helps. Maybe take a bit off the top. There you go. I find that helps. I think it's funny, witty and humorous. I really do. The other thing, look at the light. Really, guys, look at the light. This is how you're going to learn to see and manage and use light, is by looking at light. What do I mean by that? Look where the bright and the dark bits are. The light is coming from, well, I'm going to do this on the reflection. The light is actually coming from out of the shot. But look, it's this bird, this seagull, this gull, is looking straight towards the light. That means the light is quite low in the sky. How also do we know that? Look at the shadow. It's going in that direction. There isn't any shadow in front of the feet. It's behind the feet. These things tell you what the light's doing. And that is why the bird's face is lit up. Ah, hello Joey, you're here. You tried many ideas. Truthfully wanted one that was flying, but settled on a lazier one. Yeah, a bit more leg. I think you're right, Joey, because I think this is far more. You've got absolutely nailed above and below. We've got something above and the reflection below. And the reflection is telling us what it is. And the two little feet are just funny. I think it's well executed. I just think, hello, Michael Duff. I just think, yeah, maybe a little bit off there, a little bit off the side, but maybe take a little bit off the bottom, a little bit more bird leg. Other than that, well spotted, well executed, well done. I think it's fun and it's awesome. What else have we got going on here? I like the layers. Oh, okay. I get what's going on. And Julie Jager, hello Julie. Julie is in my mental group, the private group as well. And we were looking at some similar images of hers because she's just been away on holiday, but she still made time to go out and practice and shoot. I love the layers. I like that repeating line. Look, I don't know if you think this works or not, people. What I like is this. Look, we've got these lovely little wavy bits where the water meets the stone, and then it's being repeated in the cliff edge. And then we got the people dotted around. Something which for me kind of works is this spread-eagled swimmer. I don't know about you, but that's where I kind of first of all noticed the scalloped cliff edge and the scalloped waterline, but then I noticed this spread-eagled person, and then start wandering off into the other people. You may not like people in your shots, and that's completely fine. Personally, I do find it intriguing. You know, what are they all doing? They're all engaged in something. These two are looking at a selfie on a phone or something, and all these little pieces to me add up as stories. I think it's kind of like the ultimate people watching, maybe. But to me, that's why it works. Look how carefully composed it is, looking down, and these repeating shapes going on. Alan Baxter just said, reminds me of Martin Parr's work. Good point. Good point. I think it was Martin Parr who said your first 10,000 pictures are the worst. People are framed by the cliff and the sea. Exactly. It's just holding it together. We've got 3 layers, haven't we? Water, beach, cliff. 3 is a powerful number. It works very, very well in photography. Let's ease on up just a bit further. See what else we can find. John Colony. Hello, John. It's always you regulars, isn't it? Come on, if there's anybody else in the group who's a member of the group. We've got 7,000 members, right? And 60 people coming to the live stream. Why are you wasting this opportunity to go out and practice and get feedback from the group, and maybe I'll get a chance to talk about your image too? There are 7,000 members of this group. It's always the same 60, 70 people who show up and actually get on the court. If you want to get good at photography, you've actually got to get out of the stands and get on the court and start playing tennis or photography or whatever it is. Stop sitting on the sidelines. The other thing I would say is, of course, many people join photography groups just so they can post pictures and get likes. And it's a bit of a ego massage. If I'm going to be brutal now, if you're in the group purely to get likes on your pictures, you don't belong here. This isn't the right place for you. I wish you well, I truly do. But please, this is for people who want to give it a go. So, you know, I wish you well, but it's probably not the right place for you. Rant over, John Colony. Same old faces. What a beautiful picture. What a beautiful picture. And I'd say, even though it's a looking up shot, I think it does fit above and below, because we're so very much below the bird. It's not like it's a bird in the sky. I really do get the feeling of I am below this bird when looking at it. Great decisive moment. All the details in those feathers and those spread wings, and the way the bird is looking in one direction. Now, I don't know about you guys. On my screen, I'm getting a lot of blue banding, as in these circles going on, and I'm guessing it's the sky. It could be Facebook and its compression. I think it possibly is. Blue is a weird colour. You often get this in post-production, unless maybe, John, you had to do something to try and get a bit of colour into the sky or something like that. Blue is a difficult colour. If you're doing any post-production, you have to be so careful with it because it will start to band. I think this is something to do with, there is a little bit of banding which wouldn't be noticeable, and then when it's been compressed and put into Facebook, it's gone a bit funny. Love that. I love the position of the bird, the spread wings, the decisive moment, and I do get above and below. Okay, let's just move on a bit more. Okay, who's this? Andy Offler. Hello, Andy Offler. Andy, good attempt. Certainly fits the brief, you know. The guy's coming down the stairs from above and below. Got it. I don't know where you are on your photo journey, Andy. Is it a truly exciting picture? Would you, this isn't me, this is you, and I'm not saying this from any point of arrogance. Would you want to put that picture on your wall and go, yeah, I like that? If you do, that is 100% perfect. And tell me, Browne, butt out. I'm going to suggest that possibly not, because the steps are sort of taking over. They're intriguing steps, but whoever it is coming down the steps looks kind of not terribly impressed. Certainly their face and head is somewhat lost in amongst the branches. So it's like, yes, it's a shot which fits the brief. It's a particularly interesting photograph. This is where we have to start dancing with using light. And very often it's frustrating. I mean, this is for everyone who faces this situation. You have a great idea. Oh yeah, we could do someone coming down those steps, and someone coming down steps can look awesome. But then when you go to the steps that you found and you shoot the shot, and maybe it doesn't look as awesome as you'd hoped. And it's purely because the light there, be it the time of day or just the location, doesn't work. Frustrating as hell. But it's then, I need to find a new location. I need to go somewhere else. I need to find a different way. But I hope you found that helpful, Andy. You've fulfilled the brief, no question. I just don't feel it works together particularly well as a photograph for the reasons mentioned. All sorts of interesting things going on here. Look at it all. That's a clever idea. Who's that? Anthony Owen. Above and Below. And I think it's kind of clever, because the thing which we know is above is actually the item you've got as below, isn't it? The sun. And also, look how Anthony has positioned the sun. That sun isn't there by accident. It's there by design. Was Andy controlling the height of the sun in the sky? No, absolutely not. He just went there at that time of day, at the right time of day. Maybe he thought to go there at that time of day because he wanted to have the sun being the low element in his image. This is photography. Photography isn't about cameras and lenses and buying more gear. It's about thinking. Photography lives in your head. You've got to learn how to use the camera, so it's second nature. You don't even think about it. How much thought do you give to breathing as you walk around the house, go out, go on a day out? If you're having a conversation, do you think, okay, I'm coming to the end of the sentence, so I need to remember there's a full stop coming up and breathe, and new sentence, we carry on? No, right? And that's how you've got to be with photography. You just do it. The only way you can do that is to practice. Get the information from people like myself and then practice it. And then you can think like a photographer. Okay, here's a cool idea, above and below. I'm going to put the thing which is highest in the sky, the sun, as the below element. How can I do that? And then you start planning, and then you go out and find a way to make it happen. I like it, Anthony. You probably know that, and I hope my little talk about that idea has helped. There's not really much more to say, is there? We've got a starburst that is created with a small aperture. We are looking, the lighthouse is the below, is normally the below element, but you turn it into the above, you turn it on its head. Very clever idea. Let's go just a little bit higher and have a little look. Who's this? Nigel Lucas. Hello, Nigel Lucas. Have we met? I don't know. I get your idea, Nigel. Okay, so it's a shipwreck. Now, a few things about this. I'm guessing it's a drone shot, or you were in a helicopter or whatever. Like, I don't know where you were to get that shot. Maybe there's a bridge there. I don't know. Yes, with your literal thinking, you have got something above and below. But don't remember, it's not just about fulfilling a brief. Is the picture particularly interesting? Yeah. Firstly, we don't know what that is. You do, we don't. We have no idea that it's actually an almost sunken ship. It's just sort of two round things joined by a platform poking out of the water. It's right smack in the middle of the frame, so the composition doesn't work terribly well. Yes, you fulfilled the brief. Does it work as an image? There's too much going on, you know, with the houses and the car park and the yellow boys and stuff. There is probably a way to do this, but it's not like this. You would probably, to make this subject, which is an interesting subject, work, you're going to probably need to get into the water with it, I think. What goes to my mind to make that work as a shot, and it's a lot of work, and I'm not suggesting you have to do this, please don't think that, but to my mind it would be with a waterproof camera and you have half of the frame above the water and the other half below, so right through the middle. At the top part of the picture you've got these two structures at the top, and then you can see what's going on below the water. Then you've got a strong above and below, but you've also got a really interesting image, and probably if the light was behind the ship you've got beautiful backlight which will be separating it out, and I think all those things would come together. Yeah, Orion just said maybe shooting from the end of the pier there. That might work. I don't know because I don't know the location. But it's one of those things, yes, it's an interesting subject. Does it work as an image? Not terribly, even though it absolutely does fulfill the brief. You're above and you're looking at something that's sunken in the water, no question. Okay, we're kind of coming near the top. There's a picture here which it's so quirky and great and funny that I've got to mention it. And of course it's that one. We all love it, don't we? It is good fun. There's no two ways about it. Love the dog's expression. It is absolutely the feeling of being below. It's like you're lying on the ground and the dog has decided to come bouncing up and look at you like, what are you doing? Why are you lying down there? I'm here, throw sticks for me, chuck things in the sea for me, and all the rest of it. Dana, I like the way you've positioned your subject. I'm sorry, my friend, but it's the fake sky that is doing it for me. I just don't feel it works, and this is so harsh, but I'm going to do this because you're good at this stuff, and that's why I'm being harsh. You know, the halo around the hair, trying to select around wisps of hair is so difficult. The sky's not so bad, but I find the halo going on around the hair, I'm uncomfortable with it. I'm sorry, Dina. I don't really use Photoshop. I'm not an expert with Photoshop by a long stretch of the imagination, but I do know there is a tool, and I have used it, but I can't remember how you use it, where you can get it to find the edges of the individual hairs. So when you select, there's this, I can't remember what it's called. If anybody uses Photoshop, by all means write it in there. I don't use Photoshop, very rarely. But you can use this tool and you can start defining really, really close and selecting around hair and difficult things like little filaments of a feather or something like that. Is it called select and mask? Sorry, I don't know. Yeah, if you guys say it is, it is. But it's a sort of pop-up screen and you can start entering values and moving sliders and watching the selection move and grab around little whiskery things. Lightroom may even have it now, I don't know. But I love your idea, Dina. It's really creative. Your use of space is superb. We were talking about use of space earlier, weren't we? And, you know, it's great. This cheeky little face popping into the bottom of the picture. Such a great expression. I don't know what the real sky was like behind, but I reckon you probably had to have a pretty good reason for doing it. I'm so sorry, but I just find that halo uncomfortable. Refine Edge. Joey, you are correct. That's the name that I remember, Refine Edge. Yeah, it's Refine Edge. That is the name of the tool. It's within the selections, Refine Edge. That's what you want to look for. I don't remember how you use it or how it works. It's Refine Edge tool. Okay, we're kind of at the top. I want to... Is there anything else? Oh, well, there's so many, isn't there? Ahmed, How you doing, buddy? I think you've got a nice still life here. And we're looking down at something from above. I'm not getting the... Maybe I am kind of getting above and below, but I think there are others that are stronger. And you have, of course, got the cup of coffee above the book, if you like. Early morning still life. It's a pleasant picture. I like your little addition of the dried flowers. Looks like they're tied up with a piece of broken elastic band though, my friend. I could be wrong. Forgive me if I am. Yeah, I like your use of space. I think that's the main saving grace of this. You know, you've cut the corners of the book off, but you've done it equally on two different corners. And it's simple. And I guess those are the things that I like about it. I'm a simple boy. I like simple things. Oh, come on, who's this? Paul Roberts. Let's have a quick look. Because again, it's a lovely picture. Wood sorrel. I wish I could grasp and hold the names of these things because I find them fascinating. But it's a lovely picture, Paul. No question. Have you got an above and below element? Well, yeah, I guess you have. You got that one is a bit more above that one. Do I feel it works strongly as an image and for the brief? No, I'm afraid I don't. But just as a very pastel, pleasing image, yeah, I think it does. Okay, Paul, welcome. Thank you very much. You misread the brief, to be fair, yeah. Again, remember to go and look at the website when I publish a thing. Don't just ask other group members. Go to the website, read what I've said, consider it, and then look at the examples, because also when you look at those examples you will see that there is a bit of text with them explaining them. Let me just see if I can do this. I'm going to pop to my website. I want to show you inspiration, photo creative. Let's just go there. Okay, the photo creative page on the website. There is the current challenge. Okay, above and below. Look on the right. Birds above, house below. There it is, birds, house. Let's expand it so you can see it a bit bigger. Do you see what I mean? I'm giving you big clues here. Birds above, house below. Birds above, house below. Next image. One boat afloat, one has been sunk, above and below. Yeah? This is why I'm always saying to people, go and have a look. Yeah, this is pretty much a straight looking down image. But I think the shadows that are sort of like below the girl, we know that they're originating from above. High vantage points can work. That's what I'm saying there. Go and look at these things. I didn't put anything on there because I felt it was self-explanatory. We're looking down onto a landscape. But there are hills going on in the distance above. There's another one in there. Yeah, okay. Low vantage point, we've got the sky above. And then the leaves below. Yeah, that is why I think you really should go and look at the website, people. I'm not just having a go at you there, by the way, Paul. I'm just saying it's worthwhile. Okay, let's go take a look at... Whoops, I need to rearrange my screen again now, forgive me. Your images, the ones which came to mind and sort of stuck in my mind. And I kept coming back to them. Here we go. Oh, hang on, I need to turn something off. Turn that one off and we can do this and... Okay, the first one which totally got me, because I think it's such a powerful image. It doesn't just fulfill the brief, it's about creating a powerful image. And these feedback sessions, I hope, help, you know, people in different places on their journey to go, okay, so what makes okay, so you do some things like that and you work like that. So I hope this helps. Alex Stewart, I just really love it. Above and below. It is, you know, the bird is above, but it isn't actually flying, even though its wings are spread. I love the composition. I just think it is just such great fun. Everything for me just kind of works in here. The sky, the subtlety of the sky, those lovely little clouds looking down the river, the wires holding up that, I guess it's a, I don't know what it is. I guess that looks like a street lamp and the wires are something secondary behind it, which are nothing to do with the lamp, but it looks like they're holding it up. I don't know. I find it an intriguing shot. Look how carefully it has been composed. Look at the sidewalk, the stonework right in the foreground. Look, it is perfectly parallel with the bottom of the frame of the image, as is the bridge behind it. The vertical of that lamp is absolutely vertical. It's not like leaning one way or the other. These are things that contribute. You stack these little things up like Lego bricks, and then they come together, and on their own they don't make a great deal of difference. When you start layering them up, so you've got a great and careful composition combined with a decisive moment when the bird spreads its wings, or in the case of the reflection on the bus, when the guy turns round and looks up at you and goes, "Oi, what are you doing up there?" or something like that. You combine those things, combined with technical knowledge, sure. How much depth of field do I want? Do I want a freeze or blur movement? That tells you your aperture and your shutter speed. It's as simple as that, it really is. And focal length, because of including stuff or excluding stuff. That's all there is to it. Honestly, all those buttons and gadgets and layers of menus, it's just guff put there by marketing people to tell you need to buy the latest. We've added more shit to our camera. Anyway, beautiful picture, Alex. And to me, that's why it works. The little layers of clouds, the moment of the bird, and that beautifully careful composition. We haven't got any directional light going on. There's no light from behind or the sides. It just goes to show you don't necessarily need it, but the subject works for the available light. Very, very different piece of light going on now. But I just think it's such a great picture. Stephen Robertson. I love the layers. And there's like a layer above a layer, which is above a layer. We got that rather lovely sky going on above that rather lovely bridge. Going on above that, I think it's another bridge, isn't it? I haven't read the thing. Tyne Bridge and the Swing Bridge below, yeah. We've got these layers, we've got above and below. But it's so beautifully put together. And again, look at the light. There's some lovely, lovely light there. What do I mean by this? Sure, we've got the light is just kissing the undersides of the clouds. So I'm guessing it's the end of the day or possibly the beginning. I don't know which. But it's kissing the bottom of the clouds and it's giving them a lovely edge and a shape and a texture. But it's also getting the arched bridge. But it's not getting the swing bridge, yeah? So the thing which really stands out is the arched bridge. I can't remember what you said it was called. I don't know it. The Tyne Bridge. So that bridge in the middle is the one that stands out because the light is telling us to look at it. And then the swing bridge, the red and white one at the bottom, that's in shade. So it's secondary. We know immediately what we're looking at. It's telling us a story. This is about using light. But what if it's not like that when I'm there? I get asked that a lot. I'm really sorry. You go there when it is like that. Just like at the beginning I mentioned Anthony Lamb. Google him, write down that name, go and look at his landscape work. You know, he looked at the weather for Venice, and when it said in 3 days' time it's going to be misty and foggy, he booked a flight and off he went. You know, he didn't just go to Venice and hope it's misty and foggy, because that'd just be a waste of time, wasted trip. For him, I get it, he is working as a professional photographer and that is what he does, and he's creating an exhibition and a blah blah blah. It's different. But when you see these images and you think, oh, I want to go and take that shot, and then you're disappointed when it isn't like that. For example, there's some lovely shots he's got of in Venice, the wooden sticks they tie the gondolas to. You know, everybody sees them, there's lots of photographs of them. But in the background, you know, it's the other side of the river. the street, if you like, and there's all the buildings and all the busyness. So by shooting when it's misty and foggy, it's gone. Yeah, he's hiding the bits of background you don't want by shooting these things in those weather conditions. That is pure thinking like a photographer. Sorry, I've gone off on a thing. Stephen Robertson, it is a cracking shot at the perfect moment, beautifully composed and lined up really, really well. Laurie Edwards just said, wish I had that much faith in the weather forecast. I'm sorry, Laurie, that's a really negative thought, right? Because if we think, oh, I bet it's wrong, we're never going to go and do anything. Yeah. I once hitchhiked through Africa years and years ago. And when I arrived certainly towards South Africa, and back then, you know, all we ever saw in England was some terrible, terrible violence. But, you know, my mum was like, oh my God, no, you're not going to go there, are you? Well, I don't know, I haven't been there yet. Again, it's that unknown thing. Yeah, it's unknown. Laurie, you might go, you might sit there for an hour, and it doesn't happen. That's what happens to photographers. Anthony might have arrived in Venice, and it was windy, and it blew all the mist away. Get on a flight, I'll go home. Okay, not everyone can do that, I get it. But you can do it if you're going to somewhere near where you live, or if you're on holiday and you think, oh, hang on, the weather says it's going to be misty in the morning. I'm going to take the chance and go up there and see if this works. Just a thought. Please don't think I'm having a go at you. Okay, next one. It's one of our regulars. I'm sorry, I know I choose this person's work a lot, but it would be inauthentic of me not to, because Jane, you're really good at this. Jane Barnes, you know. What a great interpretation of the theme, and what a great photograph. Above and below. It is so powerfully above and below. It is exactly Anvo, a brilliant photograph. The light coming down those steps, highlighting that lone girl. Look at the shadow coming towards us in that beam of light, and that sort of little bright diagonal handrail thing in the bottom left corner. It's all just holding it together. There are so many things there. You know, Jane, you're great with this sort of photography. You really are good at it. And yeah, I had to pick this up. I did honestly, I did think, I can't mention Jane Barnes again. I thought, no, right, you're being inauthentic. That is a cracking picture, and I need to show it to all of you guys so that you can think, okay, what are the elements? What was needed to capture an image like that? First of all, of course, it's recognizing somewhere where it will work. I don't know if you're here, Jane. Yeah, you are here, because, you know, you're very humble and you often don't say anything. I want to ask you a question, please, which I think will help everybody. Was this like what I'd call a drive-by shooting? Were you somewhere and you just thought, oh no, that could make a nice picture, and then thought this could work for the challenge? Or did you know this location or think of this location and thought, actually, that could work really well for this at this time of day when the light's coming down there, and then go there? It doesn't matter what your answer is, but I would love you just to sort of mention it and tell us, because there's nothing wrong with, you know, being opportunistic, but it's being able to notice when opportunity's got a gift for you in its hands. I'm just going to give Jane a moment just to write a few words maybe. But I think we'd all agree it works really well. And I like the higgledy-piggledy slight nature of the steps. You know what I mean? The bottom ones are straight all the way up, and so is the second lot, and then they sort of turn a little bit to the right, and I just think it works really, really well. Chula Gial says this is what Sean Tucker calls fishing photography. Yeah, maybe. Sorry, Jane Kilbride. Sorry. That's my inability to blimmin' read things. Sorry. It really drives me nuts. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to read quickly and talk, and it doesn't work. I have to shut up and stare at things. Jane Kilbride, thank you. Worked the scene and waited for the right person to go by in the light. There we go. So I guess what you're saying, Jane, is yeah, it was opportunistic. You saw something and thought that's got potential for a great shot, and then you waited for the shot to happen in that place. That is again everybody thinking like a photographer. It comes with practice. That's really all it is. It just comes with time and practice. And a lot of photographers are not prepared to put in the hours of practice. Oh, I was going to, but then I didn't because something else happened. And there's nothing wrong with that, but we just have to recognise that we'd rather do the something else than the photo. That's all there is to it. Beautiful work, Jane. As always. Okay, next. Let's go. I love this. So this one is from our friend Donald Darby Johansson. I hope you're here, Don. I'm not sure. You're travelling again at the moment. I know that. What a sense of above and below, eh? You're just thinking, don't fall off. Look how carefully again the shot is composed. Hey Don, good to see you, my friend. But look how carefully Don's composed that. Again, everything is all lining up beautifully on either side of the shot. The wider angle lens is causing the convergence, so the building is tapering to the top really strongly, which gives even more sense of height. It's a wideish angle lens which makes the people even smaller and more ant-like. But yeah, what could be more above and below? Those guys are above us and the sky is right at the top. But it's this, for me, it's the sense of falling. By all means, what do you think in the chat? It's the sense of height, and it's the fact there's just two people doing the windows. That's what I love. Okay, shot with a phone. Yeah. Cameras don't take pictures. People take pictures. I have watched people wandering around with 50,000 or more pounds worth of Hasselblad, etc. And the pictures just don't work. But, you know, Don kind of came out of a door with a phone and went click. Agreed, Laurie Edwards. The rope leading upwards is all part of it. If anything, it's a stronger leading line than all the really straight leading lines because it disrupts the symmetry, doesn't it? It's on a bit of a curve. For me, that's why it works, guys. It's that careful, careful composition. Look at that. There's 59 of you here out of 7,000. I know I'm being grumpy about this, aren't I? But hey, I love you guys. You're always here. And Rob Cook. Hello, Mr. Cook. I'm so glad you put one of these in because I did see your post when you said you'd been out doing this at Avebury. And I didn't say anything because, as you probably know, I try and avoid saying anything on posts which could potentially be entries for the challenge or challenge work. Evening, Robert. Yeah, I saw you post some of your pictures from Avebury. I thought, I hope he enters some. I hope he puts something forward. It's a lovely, lovely bit of astrophotography, my friend. It really is. What I'm intrigued by is the light on the stones. Rob, is it an off-camera flash? Did you paint with light? Is it a passing car? Because I know those stones, I know where they are. And sometimes I think you get a sweep of a car headlights as they go past. I'm just wondering, did that happen during your long exposure for the Milky Way? It's a technique you can use. We haven't seen Mel Port in the group for quite a while, but it's something I've seen Mel do with a house not very far from where I live to great effect, something I'd never thought of. Too many cars, says Rob. Okay, but the light on the stones was the cars, was it? Just say yes or no, mate, because I know it's so difficult. Typing and chatting. Yes. But again, Rob, well done. Again, guys, this is thinking like a photographer. It's great use of car headlights. You might be thinking, oh, that would make a good shot. There's bastard cars going past all the time. There we go. Rob is using passing cars' headlights to paint with light on the stones, with the longer exposure going on for the sky above. Do you see what I mean? It's so great. That's what Mel was doing with the red cottage at Bewley that I mentioned by the river. He was waiting, actually, and opening the shutter. He'd see a car coming out the road and think, right, I need a longish exposure because I need to capture some stars in the sky and some of the light here. But as that car comes around the corner, it's just going to go across the house. So he was painting with light with using passing cars to do it. That's what Rob's done. What a great idea. What a great above and below. Okay. The one which I kept coming back to for the above and below challenge is, oh, stop it, I'm trying to work too many screens. Sorry. Yeah. I don't believe we've met Pierre-Eric Martin. What a great picture. What a great feeling of above and below. And it's kind of on more than one level, I feel. We got all that symmetry from the building, which is powerful. The light is very intriguing on the building because we got those two sort of vertical shadows in the creases where it goes back to the arched part of the building, which I think is quite extraordinary. Then we got the triangular sort of leading lines coming from the top, pushing us back to the building, and the way it is framed, I think it is really, really nicely done. And the above and below part, we've got so many layers of above and below. So again, with these triangular sort of shapes, the ones closest to the camera really do feel that they are very, very far below the top of the building. It's quite clever, very well noticed, Pierre. Very well put together as well. The direction of the light, the perfect moment. Look how carefully this has been framed. I think it's very, very careful indeed. Congratulations to everybody who entered the challenge. You guys rock. You really do. Thank you all for being here. My apologies for picking up the wrong Jane. Yeah, I'm very good at reading things wrong. Even worse with numbers. Thank you again for being here. There will be the next challenge going live in about 10 minutes or so. If you are signed on to my newsletter, there's a link in the description below. If you're not and you would like to, try and make it something interesting and inspiring each month. Yeah, that should be in your inbox any minute now if you like it. Beyond that, take care, be well. I look forward to seeing you in the next challenge, and I would really appreciate your help. When you see names, people posting pictures within the group, and they're people who never appear, you know, they don't come and join us when we do this or enter the challenges, get on their case. So come on, enter the challenge, come and do it. Stop just posting pictures, come and enter the challenge, because I think it's good for the group as well to have new names and see new work. I was really delighted to see Pierre's shot, you know, that image for the building, which I did choose. So, be well, take care, big hug to all, and I'll see you next time. Best wishes.